Will Tracy from 60 and starting over. Will she ever go back to van life? What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? All right, let's start with Mike and Lisa's excellent adventure. All right, these two are at they're in Texas, and they went to the Starbase in Texas and went and checked it out and walked around, showed you. It was a pretty cool video, pretty interesting. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, go over and check it out. I enjoyed it. Good little job there. Good job. Showed you all kind of good stuff. I found it to be quite interesting. All right, next we have Rusty. That's right, good old Rusty. He hooked the old bunkie, his little trailer. He hooked it up to the Ford Ranger, and he went through everything and was in there messing around with I guess trying to get the trailer brake set up and working and connected and all that good stuff. That's what Rusty was into. And then we have Bunny, and she talks about water systems and the options of what she got. I mean, she was in a little van, so she definitely has more options in the shuttle bus than she had in the van. So she goes through a couple things, and there you see she got a big old water jug. But yeah, she goes through some different things. So quite interesting stuff there from Bunny on her continuing with her shuttle build and update. All right, now we are going to move on to the lady of the hour, the topic here, and that is Tracy. That's right, good old Tracy from 60 and starting over. Formerly Adventures over 50, but she got hacked and her whole life got turned upside down. But anyway, yeah, that channel is, if you're still subscribed, unsubscribe and report the channel if you will, because it's just, they're doing some mean and nasty stuff to this poor young lady, but I don't know why. But anyway, she talks about van life, and she says that it's not that easy. She doesn't have any regrets. Now, she wants to make that clear. She enjoyed her time, and she doesn't have any regrets, but she says it's not as easy as a lot of people make it out to be. And it's just, it's a little bit crazy. And now things are different now than when she did it a little while ago. Things are more expensive, not just fuel, but other things that are more expensive. She feels that it's not as safe as it used to be. She said the laws have changed, and yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be living on the road and doing that and all kinds of other things. And we see more people that are actually, talking about stuff like that. You see a whole bunch of people, and she even mentions it, that are, getting off the road, and they're finding home bases, and they're finding land, and they're doing all kind of other stuff. And she said that it's not out of the question, but for right now, yeah, she wouldn't do it now. Maybe if things changed, but yeah. So she's enjoying, being in one spot and settled down and having a place and everything. But again, she wanted to make it quite clear that she does not regret being a van lifer for a little while. All right, now we're going to move on to Keeping It Wheel. Now, this is a young lady that I started following a while ago when Chrome helped her out and gave her some house batteries for her van. But she is taking a break from travel, and she was here in the U.S. of A., so she's taking a break from the U.S. as well. Flew back to Canada. She stayed at a friend's house. She goes through and shows you how it is traveling in a wheelchair with, airlines and this and that and the other thing. And she got a rental car with hand controls and all that good stuff. But yeah, the trip didn't go as planned. She had some little snafus with the airlines, and hey, when you're dealing with airlines, it's always a mess, and they always want to screw you any way they can, but we won't get into that. She did manage to go skiing when she got back to, I forget the exact place where she went in Canada, but yeah, she went skiing and had a little bit difficulties with that because you had to rent the special equipment that they needed, and you couldn't just get it. You had to go through a class and all kind of stuff. But yeah, so it was interesting though. But yeah, if you're following along on her journeys, and a nice single lady in a wheelchair who still travels and doesn't let a whole lot of anything and get her down. So go check her out. It's a good little channel. I know I enjoy it. All right, now we have Matty Van Halen. That's right. He was packing up from Quartzsite and everywhere and his little stay, and he was talking about getting and going. He had to go to a little gig to work, and he said it was something that he's done before, and what it turns out to be is he's house sitting is what it is. So it's not like real hard work, and he's living the high life. He gets to go and spend some time in the house while he house sits. They're getting some stuff delivered, a washer, dryer, and all that. So he's going to be there to supervise and some other things. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I thought he was actually going to a job, and going to go work. But I mean, hey, if you're going to make a couple bucks, you got to do it when you can. At least he's doing something and not sitting with his hand out like a lot of other folks that we see. So I guess we got to give him credit for that, right? And yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. I don't mind his videos and stuff. He talks about some cool stuff, and yeah, it was quite interesting. And now I guess for the comment of the day, I don't have it saved to put it up, but it was someone, since we were talking about Maddie, someone said something about ask why Maddie isn't adventuring with Amanda and something else like that. And I mean, I don't know for sure, but from what I gather, Maddie he goes and he meets up with some people and they travel together. And then when it's time to part ways, they part ways. He was with Anna's Adventures for a while. Those two were camping together and running around and doing some travels and stuff. And yeah, he'd go ahead and he'd break camp and leave a day early, and he'd go and find some place and then say, I'm here. And then Anna would go and meet up with him, and they would hang out for a week or two or whatever. And, they would travel together. And yeah, I guess just because you meet up and camp and travel together, it doesn't mean you're getting married and having kids tomorrow. So I guess that was just something that kind of struck me. That, just because people just travel together. I see all kinds of folks that travel together and, meet up, go their separate ways at different times and meet up. And even like I always talk about Quartzsite and all that time at RTR season and everything. That's where hey, it used to be, it's different. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's different. But it used to be, it's like, as people were all over the place doing their thing, it's like, hey, it's RTR time. And then they didn't want to go to the RTR. So there was a PARTR, and then there was all kinds of other little meetups. But it was like, oh, okay. So, I know this person will be here and this group will be here. So we'll go. And they used to all go and meet up in Quartzsite certain times of the year. So, and then, smaller little subgroups would go off, and a couple of them would travel together and go do something while the other little bit would go. So again, just because people travel together and hang out for a while, it doesn't mean that there's anything more than that. Now there could be, but hey, they're adults. They can do what they want, right? Shit happens. All right, that's it for this one. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, what's left of it. And yeah, it's starting to get warm here. We shall see if spring is just around the corner or not. Speaking of spring, it's time change. I hate setting the damn clocks. It screws me up all the time. But hey, you don't have to agree with me. That's never the point here. What is the point? Tell us, Tracy.
This is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.